All right, this is episode 4 of the Limitless Real Estate Podcast. So today I have Cara Beecroft and Hunter Kelley with me. They are both members of our awesome team. And today we have a topic I'm actually excited about. We're going to be talking about people overcomplicating the process in this business, which we see time and time again with new agents. And so I felt that this would be a great topic for both of these two awesome agents to jump in on. They both started off as newer agents with me, and they're both crushing it now. Hunter's still in his first year. Cara's going into year number 3, and she is absolutely knocking it out of the park, and so is Hunter. So these two have figured it out, and so here we are today, guys. I'm excited. Let's chat about it. So let's start it off. I am the team lead of the Clark team, one of the owners of Limitless Real Estate. And we focus heavily on agents, and we invest in people that want to grow. So focusing on scale and growth is what we do here, and we're always trying to work and improve each other. So hopefully this podcast adds a little bit of value to you guys. And for those of you guys that feel like you're overcomplicating the process, the goal of this is to give you guys some insight and tips kind of behind the scenes of what we look at and what we see to help you guys out. So thanks for being on today, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so why don't you guys introduce yourselves? How'd you guys find me? What are you guys doing here? Where are you guys at now?
Yeah, so as Blake said, my name is Cara Beecroft. I have been a part of his team for almost 3 years now. First got into the industry. I left banking and lending. I was in that field for about 10 years. And then I went into real estate, and when I first got in, I had a full-time job, and I was trying to juggle my full-time job and real estate at the same time. And then about 3 to 4 months into it, I just quit that job and I went full head into real estate, and have been doing it ever since. And like Blake said, I really just went full force and have gotten some pretty good results from it. Yeah. So.
One thing I'll point about Cara, when I met her, and she had asked to come join the team, she had like 0 social media presence at all.
I think I had one post.
Yeah. And I had made that comment to her. I said, you're going to have a problem. You're going to need to start doing some more marketing, really get your name out there and really build a brand around yourself. And I would say she took that advice and ran with it. And that's one thing she's probably done extremely well is obtain a ton of business through her social media and figured out how to utilize it. But basically to add value to a lot of people that follow her and audience. So those of you guys that don't, give her a follow. She's always sharing stats, techniques, tips out there behind the scenes on what she's doing to structure deals. So I'll give her credit for that. That was one thing that I was honestly a little concerned about when she came, and she completely blew that out of the water. So
Yeah, I've really learned how to leverage my social media, KB Sells AZ, and use it as a platform and a tool to just encourage individuals and families and give them knowledge of how to navigate the buying and selling process within real estate. So.
Yeah, talking about overcomplicating things. If you all have social media anyways, agents might as well use it to make money.
Yeah, it's free. Costs nothing.
It's free.
Mm-hmm. True.
My name is Hunter Kelley. I've been a realtor. Got my license in January. I got with the Clark team around March, so I've been here a few months and started off kind of bouncing around doing all kinds of things, couple of land deals. My first deal that I closed, I owed the brokerage $75. So, but
You were negative.
yeah,
You didn't make any profit.
Yeah, like I wasn't moving forward right off the bat.
Complicating the process.
Yeah. But being with these guys kind of been, like Blake, he makes things real simple. It's like you kind of break things down. Like you don't have to, it's not a complicated process to go sell real estate. It's, pretty easy.
Yeah. I'm going to share a story about Hunter and how we got Hunter on our team. So I got a random phone call one day from this young guy, and he says he's with HomeSmart, which at the time we were still with HomeSmart as well, and that he wanted to come work for me. And I said, who the hell is this? Who's on the, didn't know who it was, just randomly reached out to me. And, so he's telling me he lives out in Florence at the time, Coolidge area. And I said, where are you based out of? And he's like, I'm based out of Scottsdale. And I said, well, what the hell are you doing in Scottsdale in a HomeSmart office if you live out there? And his response to me was that he had wanted to sell bougie houses, and that's how he ended up in Scottsdale.
That was the goal.
That was the goal.
That's what it started off as. Well, if
He was watching a whole lot of Selling Sunset.
yeah, because if all of the fancy homes are being sold in Scottsdale, why would I not go to Scottsdale to make more money? That's what it started out as.
So I invite him in. I said, all right, you know what, you can come in, hang out, for an interview. I said, we actually have a team meeting going up. Why don't you come hang out in the team meeting? Because we had actually had another interview scheduled that day. And I said, you can come hang out and just kind of be a fly on the wall, see what we got going on. I don't think we're really going to have time to get to meet with you or anything like that. But just, come see the culture, see what we got going on, see if you think it'd be a good fit, and, we'll recap after. So this guy comes walking in, cowboy hat and boots, which if you guys haven't figured out, none of us do that around here. Comes in, pulls up a chair at the end of the table in this team meeting, and we were doing interviews with other people. And it came time to vote, and he votes on somebody for the team that we were voting on, and he wasn't even a member of the team yet. And was given feedback and everything, and ever since then, he's been here. I don't think we even officially ever did a vote for Hunter. Somehow he just kind of pushed himself right onto the team, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, it was interesting. We actually, Hunter, we didn't even have a formal interview with Hunter on our team, and at the end of that meeting, we decided that the person that did come in wasn't a good fit for the culture, but we said we wanted Hunter. So he definitely made himself there, and it really grabbed all of our attention and has been a great addition.
Yeah, and one thing I'll tell you guys about him too, for being young, he's got, I think that what was the solidified us kind of being like, yeah, this guy would be a great fit, is he has an extremely high drive for being young at the time, 20. Still 20, right?
I'm 19.
19? Shit. I'm off my list. So, probably one of the hardest working for those of you guys that follow me on social media and follow our team. How many listings do you have out right now, man?
Active, like 12. Pending, like 3 or 4.
12 listings. And you're how far in the business so far? How many months?
9.
9 months in the business. 12 listings. And you've already done, I think, this year 10, 12 transactions closed.
14.
14. There you go. So
he's already ahead of what the stats say. The average real estate agent, their first year of being licensed, you're lucky to close 1 deal.
Yep.
So Hunter is way ahead of that curve by far.
Yeah, there's things that have, I think this is why he's a great fit for this podcast, as well as Cara. You guys will notice a theme throughout today as they kind of tell you a little bit about their journey, what they do, what their strategies are. They don't overcomplicate things. It's pretty straightforward. That's kind of how I am when it comes time to doing business. I think people make this way more complicated than it needs to be. And so, Hunter's a testament to that, first year in the business, and he's doing more in 1 year than most people takes them to do in 3, 4, 5 years. And it's not that he does anything special, it's that he's got a solid work ethic, and he has a belief that if you just come in and work, and he also has a mindset that anything's possible and a deal can be made out of anything, right? So he's got an extremely creative mindset. But I will also tell you guys, as a testament, he comes in and, when he was first building his business, when he started with us, he would sit in this office 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. He would still be making phone calls, calling people, whatever it takes to get the job done. He didn't overcomplicate it, and now his results are showing. No excuses. So commend you on that, man.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Just work at it, and if it's not, you can work hard at something and not get much done, but you got to be efficient with your work too. So if you're making, agents out there, you're making 10 calls or you're making 100 calls and you're getting 10 people that go through as solid leads, it would be just as good if you made 10 calls and they all were leads. So it's hard work and kind of efficiency too. You can't be doing the same thing over and over again if it's not working. So just kind of find what works and do it.
All right, talk to us about your strategy, man. What are you doing to lock these deals up? Well, everybody's going to want to know that's listening to this, how the hell is this guy getting these kind of results? So talk to him.
Yeah, this podcast, we're in 2021 right now, like top of the seller's market right now. So my thinking is, why would I go fight and try to work with buyers right now if I can put this house up with no roof up for sale and it'll sell? So I'm focusing heavy on the listing side, saying whatever I can get out in the market, it's being easy to sell right now. It's like I'm not fighting the current, like something like that. So I'm just taking like our current market conditions, seller's market. I'm gonna go find everything for sale and do it that way versus being
outside the box.
with, I mean, there's people that work with a lot of buyers too, but right now it's a lot tougher. You're having to send in 10 offers on 10 different properties. Why not just get one house for sale and make the money that way?
Yep. Now, one thing I will tell you about Hunter also is, within our team and within our brokerage, we do lead gen. We're big. Leads are the lifeblood of your business, basically. So we do paid traffic. We do social media marketing, as you guys know. And we have a CRM, obviously, we go through. We call leads, text, social media, personal, friends, family, referral, the basics, right? Hunter came to us and said, I'm not selling houses anymore. I'm done selling houses. I'm selling land now. And I'm not calling leads anymore that you guys are paying for. But his results are working. So talk to us about what you're doing to generate all these listings. Obviously, let's talk about what you're doing. It's a simple process, but how the heck are you getting all these deals, man?
So I will go on what the real estate agents know as Monsoon, just a Google image satellite view. Yep. I'll pick me an area and I'll call every single vacant landowner in the area. Yep. And it's pretty simple. Do you want to sell your property, yes or no? Yep. Yes, I do. Okay, here's what it's worth. Okay, let's sell it.
And what would you say your like conversion rate is every single week when you're doing that 7 days a week or however many days a week you do it?
Yeah, well, like I keep up every day, every expired lead, I call that. So sometimes there's no expired leads. Some days there's one. Those are usually, I don't know, probably about a 50% conversion rate. So they're pretty good because they obviously, I'm like, do you want to sell your property? Is it still for sale? They're like, well, yes. I'm like, well, it's off the market. Do you want to get it on the market? But I'll actually sell it for you. And they're like, well, of course. And for sale by owners, I just kind of might not work as good with houses, but with land, I say, okay, well, you're selling your property for $100,000 for sale by owner. I'm going to put my commission on top of that. I'm going to sell it that way, and it works. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I don't have listings just sitting there not doing anything. Yep. They're saying, well, why wouldn't I do that if I'm going to make the same money anyway? Yeah. So I'm not fighting anything. Mm-hmm. I'm just their deals are already out there that I'm just putting my name I'm trying to make money on.
To piggyback on that, I feel like you're just finding a more creative way to solve their problem. And I think that's one thing agents, especially newer agents in this industry, is they're just always looking to get their next sell. Whereas they should be looking at it from how can I help, this individual or family solve whatever problem they have, whether that's, upgrade into a bigger home with more room or moving out of state. What is the problem and how can I navigate that problem?
Yeah, and kind of like Blake taught me a while back, he said, sometimes it doesn't even make sense. Like you kind of bring them a menu and say, this is what we can do, this is what you can sell for. It might not even make sense for me to list your house right now based on your situation. So you can kind of come to people with that. They don't feel like we're attacking them, pressuring them to, we want to sell your home. Like, if it doesn't make sense, like, why would you do it in the first place? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you guys listen to that very closely, what you're hearing is he's how to solve a problem, right? He's calling FSBOs, which tons of people hate calling those. He's calling expired listings. Tons of people hate calling those, and you guys are hearing him right now. I'm getting a 50% success rate on some of these listings right now. And if you guys really listen to what he said, it's not complicated. They have a house. They obviously had some intention, or a piece of property, some intention to want to sell that piece of property. It didn't work out. Well, here, I can get it sold, and he's kind of putting how he markets and what he does to get those sold. But his results are there. There's no arguing, no denying that at the end of the day. And if you guys listen to how he goes in and approaches these conversations, it's to solve a problem, right? If, and it may make sense, it may not. But, like I said, he's going in and he's doing the dirty work that not a lot of people want to do. And I got to be honest with you, he makes it look easy. He sits there in our office all day, cranks out calls to these owners and just, listing after listing after listing being signed. I think he just put up, 5 more lots I saw come through.
Yeah,
I commend him being 19 years old. If I knew what he knows at 19 to think how far ahead and how far he's going to be when he gets to be, 20, late 20s, 30s, it's, man, you're killing it, dude. So
thanks. That's what I would tell other agents too, is get with a team, because like myself, I wouldn't have been doing what I'm doing right now without everyone else, because these guys have ideas and they have systems in place, and it speeds everything up. Like right now, I wouldn't have been doing the same thing because these guys, like especially Blake, preaches consistency. So both of them on their social media are just super consistent, which I'm terrible at.
Which is ironic, 'cause you got a lot of followers.
terrible at with the social media, but like the consistency, and they have all kinds of ideas that we can kind of bounce off of. Like if something works for you, that can find that works for me. So being a solo agent, it's
challenging.
It's tougher, but
yeah. I messed up on that. That's where when I first started, I was a solo agent, and there's pros and cons of both sides of it. If you're not really planning on going scale, solo agent's probably a way to go, but I can tell you as we've grown, we learn a ton from each other, and that's probably one of the biggest value propositions I get from these guys, and what they give back to me is different ideas and different approaches, because there's things that I get hung up on, but it's not only my way of thinking. I got 10, 15 other people around me on a given day that can help me problem solve, where maybe I'm seeing things from a different perspective. Hunter would be a great example of that. I've never sat down and called FSBOs. I've never called expireds. I've gotten my business any other way, equally as successful. As you guys can see, I do well. He does, really well doing something completely different. He completely opened my eyes, where I would have never had that experience had I not crossed paths with him, seeing the results and success he's seeing, making it easy. So the camaraderie on that has been really cool for me. That's been the trade-off. So, all right, Cara, talk to us. So Cara, obviously, has been with me almost 3 years now, 3 years. Started off with your dad, who's a broker, who has been a very well-experienced agent. He's been in the business forever, had a super solid foundation for her, and is still a lifeline for her. I know that. She calls him for advice on some things just because he's got years of experience on that. So talk to us about that transition. Got your license, you're with your dad.
Yeah.
What was the appeal to coming over to working on our team and scale, and talk about where you were to where you are now and share some of your successes? So.
Yeah. So I got my license, and like Blake said, my dad has held a brokerage license for over 10 years, been in the industry, does well, very boutique local brokerage. So when I first got licensed, I knew right off the bat the importance of finding a one-on-one mentor. Like Hunter said, in this industry, I feel like that is so important to have either a mentor or a team help guide you and keep you accountable. So I was with my dad in his brokerage for probably about 3 months, and I was able to do in that short time frame. I think I did somewhere around like 3 to 5 deals in that time frame, which was pretty good. But then I decided I needed to join a team or a brokerage that could help my business scale.
Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Dad. We still do Thanksgiving together. We're on great terms. No hard feelings. My dad's a businessman, and he understands.
He knows he's welcome anytime. He wants to come over. We'll help him.
He's going to watch this and give me so much crap. I love you. But yeah, so I saw Blake through social media, and I knew with the modern day technology that social media is such a huge platform to get your name out there. And I knew that I needed to be a part of a team that was leveraging social media to grow my business, because I am not a very patient person, and I wanted to scale very quickly. So I reached out to Blake, and I had at the time one photo on my Instagram, and it was just like me of my kids, said nothing to do with real estate. And he called me out. He's like, "You only have one photo. Like, why aren't you telling people that you're licensed?" And, it just didn't click for me then. But so I came over, and like Blake said, he has a lot of systems and resources and tools in place to provide to these agents. If you use them the right way, you can scale and grow pretty quickly. So I got into the lead gen database that we have, and when I first came over, I would just lock myself in an office, and I was calling about 300 to 500 people every single week. And then I was staying very consistent with that, and staying very consistent with all of their platforms, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, just like my personal influence of people. And just consistency over consistency, and it really compound year after year. So
how many deals you pull off social media a month?
I get quite a few. I would say about 95% of my business at this point is from my social media, but I also get a lot of referrals from social media as well. So it's
zero
great.
social media when she came over to a consistent 3 to 5 deals per month, basically at this point off social media, consistent repeat business. Yeah. So in a short 3-year time span.
So what are we that don't use it as like you guys do? What are we missing out on?
So, and that's a great point, because I think when people think about social media, they definitely overcomplicate the process, because they're like, well, what do I post? Like, I don't know what to post. Do I post just constant information? Do I post just constant houses? And I think people,
I was that guy.
Right, and I think
if you go back in my profile and you take a look at my real estate profile, like, oh man, probably 2 years back. Straight houses. Every house I sold, there was no picture of me on there at all. Yeah. For all people knew, I looked like a 2-story. And and then I did this thing where I posted a picture of my kids and family.
And you get more engagement.
Of likes. Yeah, I got a bunch of engagement. I'm like, holy shit, they have like 15 people like my houses I'm selling, I'm super proud of. And they put a picture of me up and tons of engagement on it, you know what I mean? So that's where I really learned the power of it's not always just about the houses. People want to get to know you, right?
They do.
There's 88,000, I think that's the most recent number, of us out there. And not everybody that works with like a hunter would work with me, right? 2 very different people. Somebody works with Big Cara. I don't wear a cowboy hat. He's got that advantage over me. So, and then you got, Cara, whoever works with her would not work for me. Whoever works with me wouldn't work with them, and that's okay. I think that's, again, where people are overcomplicating that part of it, is they think they need to get every client out there. They think that they need to stay watered down and so neutral that they appeal to everybody, where I think that people would have a better opportunity of just being who they are, being themselves, whatever that is. And you're going to have people that naturally draw to you. They're either going to like you or not like you, right? They're going to like your personality, not like your personality. And that's okay. That's okay to say that and not overcomplicate that either.
You don't want to work with people who don't like your personality anyway.
You don't. And you learn that.
That would be terrible.
You learn that very quickly. So
that would not be fun.
No, and especially if you spend that time with those people that you guys just aren't a good match, right? Like personality-wise, the way that they want a transaction ran versus the way that you prefer to run it doesn't work out that way. There's probably someone better out there, and that's okay. But for every person that's not going to be a good fit, there's probably 2 or 3 around the corner that you could gravitate into that would be a great fit for you. So I think that that's probably one thing that took me a while to learn. I finally got that pretty dialed in of just being who the hell I am on there, and for those of you guys that follow me on my stories, I post goofy stuff and like to have fun. I like to joke around. I post serious stuff, business stuff. Cara posts a lot of who she is on there. Hunter doesn't post at all. He has a lot of followers. So...
But I think that's the thing about social media that people overcomplicate when they get into this business is people want to connect with you, right? They want to know who you are, what you like to do, and get to know you a little bit better. And if you kind of use your social media platform as like a tool to grow your business and think of it almost like a resume in a sense of just showing people who you are, it could go a long way for sure.
Hear me out.
Okay.
The social media and like your personality, that's the only thing keeping us from being replaced with robots.
You got it. Yeah, it's a people business.
Because then they can just buy and sell houses online.
Yeah,
right?
Like what? True.
Well, they almost can right now. If you think about it, right? They have a lot of the iBuyers out there that are, everybody's moving to such an automated process, I think, especially today's day and world, you know what I mean? Everything you're doing, right? You go into grocery stores, they got self-checkout where you don't have to deal with a cashier, right? I'll just go straight, which there's probably some convenience in there. But there is probably people that do enjoy the cashier and having that conversation, when you go to buy cars. It's got that friggin' Carvana. You guys ever drive by that thing with all the cars? It looks like a toy machine over there. Like, just pull up, people are so quick to take the personalization out of the sales process, which I think, when I go to buy cars, I have people I use, like a certain person that I use for that stuff because, I like that person. I trust that person.
Trust them.
Trust them to make the right, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Give me a good deal, whatever. Yeah.
Especially like buying a house. That's the biggest buy of some people's lives. Yeah. Like, you want someone by your side that you can
They want experience, I think. They want knowledge. There's so much more to, here, go open a door, show it to me, right? Because I know with me, a lot of my clients, whenever I help them buy a house, I always look at what's this going to look like for me in 2 years, 3 years, because that's the life cycle of most of my clients. Not all of them. Some stay put, some sell a house every 6 months. And I know that if I help them buy and they buy bad, they make a bad financial choice, I'm going to basically face the repercussion of that down the road because they're going to come back to me to sell, which I think Cara's probably coming across some of that. You've got some repeat clients down your pipeline right now. So you've had to sell some of these houses that you helped them buy. And that's where the truth goes told is, did you help them make a good buy, is when they can turn around and sell that property and get them out from underneath it and make them some money. I don't think that there's an automated process that can guide people that way that I know of right there. There's a lot of things that are convenience. You got some of these iBuyers that just have keypads on the door, right? Here's a code, you go pop it open, you don't need an agent. But when they're asking for advice on what it is, is this a good buy? What do I need to worry about? What's going to be a concern when it comes time to resell? That's where they're asking you to put your eyes on that property and advise them properly. And I don't think any amount of technology is going to be able to make that part of the process streamlined, in my opinion.
Way.
You can't take experience out of the equation, I think, in some of that, So I think that's where we're always going to have a place in the need, which comes back to how skilled are you and what's your personality, and can people connect with you?
And how better can they connect with you than seeing what your social media is about? If they see you have a family or what you like to do, or just connect with you as a person. And I think so many people overcomplicate that process of, I want people to know I do real estate, but my Instagram has to look perfect. My grid needs to be just like this, and I was like that, recently. And then I decided, it doesn't have to be perfect. And my engagement, just send it. My engagement and my insights have even increased more so now that I'm not so focused on making it look so picture perfect. So I think there's so many little parts within the industry that we just overcomplicate that pushes us back, those self-limiting beliefs that we put on ourselves. It's pretty interesting.
So you're a brand new agent that's coming to you. What piece of advice do you give them to get the ground running fast? Quickest path to success from day one to day 365, their first year. You're still in your first year. So if you had to give them a piece of advice from day one to day 365, what would it be to get quickest path to success?
Find someone who is doing what you want to do.
I was going to say the same thing.
Do whatever you can to be around them, to learn from them. Be a sponge. Perfect. So whatever they're like, if this is where you want to be, go find out who's there already. Find out they're going to be the people to get with. Like this whole team right here, like these guys are selling 70 deals a year. Like that's what I want to do. Okay, I'm going to go with them, and they're going to teach me how.
Yep. Yeah.
You got to provide some kind of value too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't like if you're going to look, just say for a mentor, you can't be a leech.
Right.
Like there's people like even like outside of real estate, like kind of learning to rope and stuff like that. Like these guys would teach me how to rope, and I'd go work for them and work for free. Just learn as much as you can.
Yeah, you have to give value back. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. But my piece of advice, find someone who's doing what you want to do, and meet them, get around them.
Right. And I would say the same thing, but I would also say stay consistent. And that is a huge thing because there's so many people that get licensed in the state of Arizona, and we see it pretty often where these people get licensed, they're excited, they post about it, they talk about it, and then they fall off the face of the earth. And even experienced licensed agents do the same thing. So stay consistent with your marketing and your business. I think that's huge.
Yeah, I would say also have a very clear idea of what it is you want to accomplish. I think that's, I don't know, we see a lot of people fall off that way where they come out of the gate swinging, having a clear idea. I'll reference Hunter on this too, which is to making a commitment to, I'm just going to sell land. That's it. It's an interesting decision, on my point, but it's not a wrong decision, right? I've never looked at it from that perspective. But he is going 100% all in on one avenue, and it's paying off extremely well. Where I see a lot of agents first come out, well, I'm going to sell commercial, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to sell $1 million homes, I'm going to sell 80K. You're so far all over the place that your marketing is never consistent. And I don't think there's any wrong way to go. As you guys can see, you got 3 people sitting at this table that all do 3 pretty much different things to generate business, drive their business, 3 very different tenures as far as the business goes, and all three are seeing very good success in the business, right? So there's no right or wrong way, and there's one thing I would say we're all three good at, that's consistency. That's what you guys said.
Consistency, doing what works.
Yeah.
That's a great point. That's super important. If you're
consistent at the shit.
you can be consistent at social media, but if you're putting pictures up every single day of a bird, like it's not gonna make any difference. Like, find out what works first, and then chip away at that.
And one thing to find that out is trial and error, and be okay with that. Be okay with the error. I feel like so many people get so caught up when they do trial and error and they fail, and then they just give up.
Paralysis through analysis. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those are all great points. I would definitely agree with either one of those. So, final thoughts, let's wrap it up. If you guys had to say anything.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, like there are over 100,000 transactions taking place every year in Arizona. There's no reason you can't be 20 or 30 of those. Yep. Like 100,000 transactions. Like you can find what works. Like social media, or I mean, it's all online. Like there's YouTube, people teaching you what they do to generate leads. Like if you want to go get listings, like there's 1,000 YouTube videos on how to do it. Mm-hmm. It's gonna take you 20 minutes, and say, go try something new. Like say you are calling for sale by owners and it starts working for you, like go all in on that. Yeah, like
spend less time thinking and more time doing. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people spend so much time thinking of, what can I do or what am I going to do? Stop thinking so much about that and just start doing, right? Sure. Put it into motion, and then you'll get further along every day by day.
Yeah, I would probably say that's the number one thing that we all do very well. One thing of the culture that we've created is just people taking consistent action. I think we're really good at coming up with not only ideas, but just trying them. There's probably, I don't know, how much shit have we tried that's failed?
All kinds of stuff.
But we have fun with it. That's the thing. I feel like we enjoy the process. Like I said, some things we try to implement, they don't work out. Some things that we go all in on and they do work out and they pay out extremely well. But we are very consistent in what it is that we do. We do come up with ideas. So I really think that that's a massive contributing factor too, compared to what both these guys just said. Consistency in anything you do, because if you're never going to be consistent, you're never going to see the results. And then I'll piggyback on what Hunter just said too. If I had to add one more, is find somebody that's doing what it is you want to do, but add value back to them. Because I'll tell you guys right now, especially as someone, I get a lot of people that reach out to me and ask for help. And it's always about, what can you tell me? Can you sit down with me for free? Can you give me your entire life's blueprint of real estate, right? To get me exactly where you want to be. But there's nothing in return of, here's what I'm going to do, whether it's, I'm going to come work alongside you for free. I'm going to coach, with you directly. I'm going to hire you as a coach. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just, it's hard for people that have put in the work day in and day out to take time out of their day to give free advice to people that aren't offering value in return, because it's a lot of lessons learned.
So like, take someone out to lunch. Like, you're providing them value. Like, that's as simple as it gets. Everyone has to eat, right? Yeah. Like this guy that knows what you're doing, like go out to lunch, like see what you can soak up in 30 minutes for sure. But
cool. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on today.
Thank you.
Value the hell out of you guys.
Thank you.
I'm surrounded by some pretty awesome people.
One more thing.
All right.
Make sure it's something that you enjoy doing. If you hate selling real estate, don't try to sell real estate.
Easy as that.
If we have fun with it, and that's why our whole team, they enjoy doing it, and that's why they all succeed like they do. We're not drudgy around here, just hanging our heads. Like, we're pumped up to be here, excited. We like selling real estate. They like selling houses. Be excited to do it, like to do it. So okay.
Well, and to your point too, just to go along on that too, do your avenue of marketing or what it is you do what you enjoy doing, right? If that's calling FSBOs and you enjoy doing it, do that. And only that. If you don't enjoy doing it, don't do it. If you enjoy doing social media, go all in on that. If you enjoy cold calling, if you enjoy door knocking, there's so many different avenues to generate leads. If you try to do all of them, it's going to be hard because you're not going to like all of them. Some people's personalities are very different. So I would say go all in on what it is you enjoy doing to generate leads, because you'll be more invested in it and you'll probably be more committed and more consistent in generating business that way, no matter which way it looks like. So
don't overcomplicate it.
Don't overcomplicate it.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming on today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
if you guys got value out of this show, if you guys got any little bit of tips out of this that would add value to yourself or anybody else at all, please feel free to tag them down below. Feel free to share the video with them. That's all we ask in return. Like I said, we make this completely for free to help the real estate community and grow their business. So all we ask in return, again, is if you got value from this show, if it was helpful, or you think you know of somebody that could get value from this, please feel free to share this with them.